Once upon a time, there was a boy who had a cold. Because he was out playing, he stepped in the water, but no one understood why he stepped in the water, because it was very dry that day. After undressing him, his mother put him on the bed, then went to get a kettle and cooked him a pot of water with rosemary leaves for him to drink to warm himself up. Just then, a kind old man walked in. He lives upstairs, in the same house, and lives alone. He didn't and hash 39 T have a wife, so he didn't and hash 39 T have any children, but he loved children very much. He knew countless stories and often told them to them, making them very interested. The boy and number 39's mother told him, "Now, drink the leaf juice, and maybe I will reward you with a story." "Okay, I and number 39 I'll try to find a new story," the old man said, nodding slightly. "But how can you step on the water?" The mother said, "I don't and number 39 T understand why." The boy asks, "Grandpa, please tell me a story." "Okay, if you answer me fully then I will tell you, because I want to know the truth." "How deep is the gutter in the street where you go to school?" "Sir, just about halfway up my boots, but today I just fell into the deepest hole." That and number 39's it, that and number 39's why I got soaked. Now I really want to tell you a story, but I don't and number 39 T have any more stories to tell. Why can and number 39 T you think of a story right away? My mother always said that everything you see, everything you pay attention to becomes a story. The old man said, "If the story is true, they will come to you, pat your forehead and tell you, and quote, 'Sir, it and number 39's me, and quote. So are there any stories that are about to hit you on the forehead, sir?" Yes, but stories are like noble ladies, they come when they like. Here it is. He suddenly exclaimed, "Got it. Pay attention. The story is on the kettle over there." The boy looked at the kettle. The lid slowly opened and a few fresh, pure white rosewood flowers gradually protruded from the mouth of the kettle. Those flowers grow on big and long branches, reaching out in all directions, coming out of the kettle and growing and growing. Soon a beautiful rosewood tree grew, lifted the curtain, spread out the curtain and spread into the boy and number 39's bed. How many flowers and how fragrant! Among the branches and leaves appeared an old woman, looking gentle and endearing, wearing a beautiful dye, green like leaves and covered with rosemary flowers. At first glance, it was impossible to tell whether the shirt was made of fabric or real flowers. The boy asks, "Grandpa, what is the name of that lovely old lady?" The old man said, "The Romans and Greeks in ancient times called the goddess Lamtuyan, but today we don't and number 39 T understand that noun anymore, so we Copenhageners call it by a more understandable name. Hong Mok Pure." Please listen to my grandfather and number 39's story and pay attention to the incense tree. Right in the street where we live, there is a rosewood tree exactly like this one, also big and full of flowers, growing in a shabby little corner of the garden. One beautiful sunny afternoon there were two old men sitting under a tree, an old sailor and his wife. The two have grandchildren and are about to celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary, but they don't and number 39 T remember exactly what day it is. At that time, Hong Mok Tin also sat among the branches and leaves and was as happy as she is now. Hong Mok Tin told the couple, I remember your wedding day very clearly." But the couple did not hear and began to review old stories. "Do you remember when we were little, we played and ran together? We played with sticks in the ground and gardening right in the yard where we are currently sitting." "Yes, I still remember. At that time we watered the sticks. Among them was a stick made of rosewood. It took root, sprouted buds, and now has become a large rosewood tree that we know. Sitting under the tree. That and number 39. Right, over there in the corner. There and number 39. Also a bucket full of water. I still float the boat in there. I folded the boat myself. It must know. But then I also launched another way, launched into a game." "Yes, but before that, we went to school together a little bit. We received confirmation. That day we both cried, but in the afternoon we held hands and climbed up the round tower, looking across Copenhagen and the sea, out into the vast universe. Then we went together to Frederick XBE, where the king and queen often traveled on the canals in a splendid boat. Then I also traveled in other ways, well, year after year. Experienced many great ocean crossings, traveled very far. Yes, I cried a lot and missed him. I thought he left his body, without a burial place, at the bottom of the sea. At night, I often wake up to see if the pinwheel indicating the direction of the wind is working or not. It and number 39, still spinning, but he and number 39, not coming back. I still clearly remember one day when there was a storm. The garbage truck stopped in front of the owner and number 39's house, when I was still living there. I took the trash can down and stood on the doorstep. The weather is very bad. I was standing there when the postman came and brought me an envelope. Your letter. That letter traveled to many places. I and number 39, go home and read it now. I was so happy, I laughed and cried. In the letter, he said that he was in a hot country where coffee trees grew. That country must be very beautiful. He told so many stories, and I imagined them all, while it was still pouring rain, my hand still holding the trash can. At that moment, someone suddenly hugged me. Yeah. But she immediately slapped the person and made him snap. I didn't and #39, no it was you. He returned as quickly as that letter. Why did he look so beautiful then? Until now he is still handsome. At that time, in his pocket he had a large yellow handkerchief, and he had a really pretty hat on his head. He looks so elegant. The weather was so bad that day. The streets are muddy. Then we got married. Do you remember? Then the first child was born, then Mari, then Noan, then Pete and Hang Christian. Yes, they all grew up and became honest people, loved by everyone. Then it and number 39's their turn to have children. How cute these babies are. It seems like at that time we also celebrated our wedding anniversary. That and number 39's right, today is your wedding anniversary. Hong Mok Tin stepped in between the two old men and said so, but the two old men thought they were neighbors. The two men looked at each other, holding hands. At that time, the children and grandchildren came. They know very well that today is the 50th wedding anniversary of the two forgotten people, while they remember the distant past very clearly. In the air filled with the scent of rosewood flowers, the setting sun shone on the two men and number 39's faces, making them look rosy. The youngest grandchild danced around his grandparents. He sang excitedly, because today there was a feast at home and he would get to eat hot potatoes. Hong Mok Tin, sitting on the tree, nodded in approval and shouted and quat, "Hooray and quat," along with everyone. The little boy heard this and interrupted him. "But sir, that and number 39's not a story." The old man said, "Perhaps, but let and number 39's ask Hong Mok Tin and see." Hong Mok Tin replied, "That and number 39's not true, but the story is coming. The most magical adventure stories come from reality. Otherwise my Hong Mok tree wouldn't and #39's have grown from the kettle." After saying that, Hong Mok Tin lifted the boy out of bed and hugged him. The branches full of flowers closed into a canopy that surrounded the two people and took them up into the sky. Hong Mok Tin transformed into a beautiful girl, but her dress was still green and dotted with white flowers. On her chest, there is a rose flower and her blonde hair is also decorated with a string of rose flowers. She has big blue eyes. She looks absolutely beautiful. The two boys hugged and kissed each other. The two were of the same age and had very compatible personalities. They came out of the canopy, holding hands. Right now they are in the middle of a beautiful garden full of flowers, surrounding the house. On the green grass, the father and number 39's stick stuck into the ground like a branch. The two boys thought the tree branch was still alive. As soon as they rode it, the stick turned into a very energetic horse, its mane fluttering in the wind, its four hooves slim and sturdy. That mighty horse galloped around the lawn. "Thank you," the boy said. "We have traveled many miles already. We have traveled many miles already. We went to the castle that we went to last year." They kept riding, galloping around the grass, and the little girl we knew as the transformed Hong Mok Tin shouted, and quat, "Here is the countryside. Have you seen the farmer and number 39's house with a stove that looks like an egg? And quat, is that a huge place next to the wall, next to the road? The rooster is digging up food for the hen. Look at how cocky he is. Ah! We have approached the towering church on the top of the hill among the huge oak trees, in which there is a tree that seems to be about to die. Now we approach the smithy, which is burning red, with shirtless people wielding hammers, scattering sparks in all directions. Moving forward, towards the castle sparkling and quat. The scene took place exactly as the girl described. She was still riding on the stick and sitting behind the boy. The boy also saw all the things she mentioned, even though, really, they were just running around on the grass. Then, they walked on the paths along the lawn and drew a small square on the ground. The girl took the incense stick from her hair and stuck it there. The flower grew like the myrrh tree of the two old men whose story I told. Just like the two old people when they were children, the boy and girl held hands, but the only difference was that they did not go to the Round Tower or to the Frederick XBE Garden. Are not. The girl hugged him around the waist and the two went around Denmark. First it and number 39's spring, then summer, fall, and winter. Many scenes appeared before the boy. The little girl kept singing, and quat, "Never forget this scene, boy," and quat. During their journey, the incense stick still gave off a sweet scent. There was also the smell of roses and oak blossoms, but the roses were more fragrant, because this flower was worn on the girl and number 39's heart, and while traveling, the boy would occasionally rest his head on the flower. The girl said, "Spring is so beautiful here." At that time they were in the middle of a clump of oak forests, which had just sprouted leaves and were giving off a fragrant scent. Light red peonies scattered on the lawn look very beautiful. Spring in the fragrant fields of Denmark is truly beautiful. The girl said, "Summer here is so wonderful." At that time, they passed through an ancient manor. The city walls are red, silhouetted against moats full of water, with flocks of swans swimming. The two of them looked at the fresh trails. Outside, the wheat fields rippled like waves on the sea. The grasslands are dotted with wild poppy flowers and pomelo flowers, red and yellow. At night, the moon rises and becomes full. The piles of straw give off a sweet fragrance. No one can forget this scene. The girl said, "Autumn here is great. The sky is deep blue, the forest is tinged with yellow, red and gentle blue. Packs of hunting dogs ran past, flocks of birds flew up from the stone tombs of ancient kings. White sails undulate on the dark blue sea surface. In a factory, a group of old women, young women and children were washing their father and number 39's clothes in a large bucket of water. The young people sing while working, the old people tell stories about goblins and demons. Is there any sight more joyful than that? The girl said again, "Winter here is so wonderful." White frost covered the plants and trees, looking like white coral trees. The ice and snow broke under his feet, making a sound as if he had put on new shoes. In the sky, the stars change positions one after another. From the farmer and number 39's hut came the sound of a violin. Inside the tent there was a delicious smell of cake. Children from poor families also say, "Just like winter." "Yes, I really like it," the girl said. She showed the boy to look everywhere. The incense stick continued to emit fragrance, and the red flag with a white cross, just like the flag on the old sailor and number 39's ship, fluttered in the wind. The boy became a trainee Marine. He traveled around the world, through hot countries where coffee trees grew. When departing, the ticket lady pulled a flower from her chest and gave it to him to keep as a souvenir. He placed flowers in the Bible, and in a foreign land, every time he opened the Bible, he was right on the page with the souvenir flower. "The more I look at flowers, the healthier I feel." At those times, he thought he could smell the fragrance of the Danish forests, and through the flower petals, he clearly saw the little girl looking at him with her clear blue eyes. The girl said, "And quat. The 4 seasons here, spring, summer, autumn, and winter, are all wonderful." And quat. And hundreds of images appeared in his mind. Many years passed. Now he is old and sitting with his old wife under a flowering tree. It is a very beautiful rosewood tree, its branches and leaves reach as high as a gate. Standing at the gate, you can see a panoramic view of the surrounding countryside. Now it was their turn to sit silently, whispering to each other the past years of living together, containing countless joys, hopes, and pain. Just like their grandparents before, they held hands and reviewed old memories and mentioned their wedding day. The blue-eyed girl with a rosewood flower on her head obediently said to the 2 elders, "And quat. Today is your 50th wedding anniversary." And quat. Having said that, the girl pulled out 2 flowers from the wreath on her head and kissed them. At first the 2 flowers sparkled like silver. then like gold, and when the girl placed the flowers on the heads of the old couple, each flower immediately turned into a golden crown. Two old men sitting under a fragrant tree looked like a king and queen. The old man told the old woman the story of Hong Mok Tin, just like the adults told him when he was a child. The two elders really liked that story, because the story revived their lives. The girl said, "Some people call me Hong Mok Tin, some people call me Lam Tuyen Than Nu, but actually my name is retrospective. I myself am in the incense tree. I and number 39. They grown up so quickly, but I still remember everything. Can you show me if you still have 2 souvenir flowers?" The old man opened the Bible. The flowers kept in the book are still as fresh as if they were just placed. Flashback nodded slightly in greeting. Just then, the crimson sunset rays shone straight on 2 old men wearing golden crowns. The 2 closed their eyes, and then... But this is the end of the story. The boy was still lying down, he didn't and #39 T know if he had just dreamed or if someone had just told him the story. The kettle was still on the table, but there was no incense stick growing from inside the kettle, and the old man telling the story was walking out the door and gone. The boy admired, "Great, Mom. I have been to hot countries, Mother. That and number 39's right. Why drink 2 cups of hot leaf water without feeling like you and number 39? They gone to a hot country." The mother carefully covered her child with a blanket so that he wouldn't and #39 T catch a cold and said, "Surely while my mother and the neighbor were arguing about whether it was a real story or a made-up story, you fell asleep, right? But where is the wood essence, Mom? In the kettle of leaves. It can just stay in there." Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.